I gotta give it to you guys, I did not expect you all to call my next video on my community tab post of all things. Props to you sexy beasts. Grisha Yaeger is a unique figure in Attack on Titan, burdened with the responsibility of saving humanity. He is tasked to free Eldia from the grasp of the oppressive Marley and stop the extinction of Eldians all around the world. Though, like with many Attack on Titan characters, he is complicated, as there are many shades of gray in his character, as you've heard me say millions of times before. As while he is a doctor who has devoted himself to humanity and helping others, he carries with him his own sins he also must atone for, burdened by his past, burdened by his future. But that's what's fascinating about Grisha. His burden is what drives him to make hard choices. So, let's break down the birthday boy, Papa Yaeger, and discuss what is a fascinating, captivating, and a deeply human man who made deeply human mistakes. Grisha Yaeger is someone who, from the very beginning, was a curious boy. That natural curiosity would fill his mind with wonder until he would eventually sneak out of the internment zone he lived in to see a Zeppelin in person. He and his sister, would ultimately be caught, and with that, his sister was escorted away while he stayed with Eren Kruger. While he got to see the Zeppelin, his sister was sadly being fed to dogs. And after the loss of said sister and his revelation of the way the world treats his kind, he knew pretty much one thing, and that's survival. Feeling like his race was being unjustly oppressed for a crime their ancient ancestors were responsible for, he sought to revitalize the Eldian bloodline through starting his own underground movement, one with his first wife, and royal blood, Dinah Fritz. He knew that if the Eldians were to prosper once more and take back their place in humanity, that he would have to fight for it. Really, to get down to brass tacks, Grisha is shaped and molded by his environment. He's the underdog, but the underdog with a trump card, Zeke. Grisha, in many ways, is brought to the brink so much so that he'd use his family, his own son, and wife for the survival of his people. But after he loses Zeke and Dinah, who is killed by being turned into a pure Titan, he once again builds a new family, and Carla and Eren Yaeger. He knew he had to go down that road once again and build another family again, and eventually do what he did to Zeke and Dinah. But this time, it was a little different. Though, to help me talk more about Grisha Yaeger, I went to the internet, and I found a Jaegerist. And not just any Jaegerist, Beluga the Jaegerist, to help me to talk about Grisha. So Beluga, take it away, buddy.
I like to think stories are about introspective and allegory. Grisha wasted his son's entire childhood trying to restore Eldia. He did have a legitimate grievance that Eldians were legitimately being oppressed. However, since he fixated on it and never enjoyed the good moments he had, or had the opportunity to have, his heart was consumed with bitterness and he was unable to feel joy. The same thing happened to Mr. Lionheart as well. He used his daughter, quote unquote, for his own purposes, and then when she's about to leave, he realized how important she was to him, and he started breaking down and apologizing, wishing he can have her back home. In the manga, no spoilers, a character says, "I wonder why we don't realize what we've lost until it's gone," to Annie, of all people. I believe Isayama is trying to use these characters as an allegory to our own personal lives, that though we may have legitimate reasons to be unhappy, we should not let it consume us.
Alright, thank you, Beluga. Everyone go check him out if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Grisha, instead of just forcing his mission onto his wife and son, eases them into it. But not because it would be smart to not repeat the mistakes with his new family, but because after he lost Zeke and Dinah, he learned how to cherish his family. This is because he felt an immense amount of grief for what he did to Zeke and Dinah, even driving his own son to turn him into the police because he wasn't being a good father. He was being Grisha the revolutionary. But that side of him is dead by the time he goes to Paradis, as now he has this beautiful new family with this beautiful new wife and this beautiful new son. It's almost picturesque. How could any man say no to that? So, he shirks his duties. After all, he has 14 years to do his mission, so he takes that time. It allowed him to mend that broken heart, atone for his sins, and to give Carla and Eren what he so wished he could have done to Zeke and Dinah. But as always, you don't know what you got until it's gone. After his son turns in both his parents due to the immense pressure they put him under, and under the guidance of Tom Saver, he and Dinah are sent to Paradise Island. Here, they would be tortured until they gave all the information they had and then injected with spinal fluid to be turned into a Titan to roam forever. A fate worse than death. However, as he witnesses everyone before him, even his wife, be turned into pure Titans, Aaron Kruger reveals himself to be the holder of the Attack Titan and saves Grisha. The reason for this is actually quite simple. Kruger is running out of time, as he's slowly dying and must transfer the Attack Titan to someone, and that someone is Grisha. Interestingly enough, he was able to see a glimpse of Grisha and Aaron's future as he mentions Mikasa and Adamin, two people not even born yet. He now lives with the responsibility, a duty, to complete Aaron Kruger's mission. But now, as the holder of the Attack and Founding Titan, Grisha, now more than ever, is burdened with doing what he was told to do. This is a key moment in the story of Grisha Yaeger because this drives a lot of action he makes throughout the rest of the series. For example, when Aaron tells Grisha to eat Frida rice cakes, that's a huge moment not just because of the full context of that scene, it's actually a realization that this is the only way. This is the path that was afforded to him, not the one that he chose. And while Grisha may be flawed, even for a revolutionary, this is no task that any person should have. Deciding the fate of humanity? Does he eat Frida rice cakes and give the Founding and Attack Titan to Aaron to start a war? Or does he spare Frida and assure the damnation of Eldia? Despite what some may say, that's a hard choice. And no matter which the choice, it's the wrong one. At least morally speaking. Grisha wanted Eldia to prosper and be free again. You didn't want more pointless war and killing, that's for sure. Ultimately, how Grisha reckons all of this is simple, yet effective. Grisha realizes throughout the series his faults as a person and makes changes as he learns from his mistakes. For example, when he snuck out and his sister was killed, he learned the truth of who his people were, the crushing reality that they're not free. Grisha opened the door and it shut itself and locked him onto a path of trying to make Eldia prosper. But why? Because it's what people deserve, to be free. Then several other grim mistakes as he and Dinah used their son as a pawn for their own plans to bring Eldia back. Zeke did not agree to it. He just wanted to play catch and get his dad's attention. Instead, he was made to partake in their plans for him to become a Titan shifter, which drove Zeke to expose his parents, sending them to Paradise Island to be turned into Titans, forever roaming in a nightmare, aimlessly searching for people to feast upon. Though, being given a second chance, he took it and ran with it, and honestly, he made the absolute best of his situation. And while it is a shame what happened to his family, eventually, the fact that he became a doctor who traveled around helping people, curing an illness, and saving the entire human population in the walls, nailing Carla, by the way, and you best bet that gets bonus points with me. She's a total baddie, and was able to be an actual father to his son. Some would even say, Father of the Year. Not me, but some. Grisha, in my opinion, atoned for his sins of how he handled Zeke and Dinah. Does it erase it? Nah, probably not. But I think it's safe to say, second go around, Grisha was a good father. Yeah, you can't really spin Carla being eaten by a horrific monster version of his former wife, also him being eaten by his own son, and you gotta think Aaron probably also as well saw his parents getting it on too after he ate him. Quite a disturbing thought. I feel sorry for Aaron a little bit. And well, there is no good in any of that unless you like total chaos and destruction, which is fair play. If you do, fair play. Anyways, thank you all for watching the video. Thank you for Beluga the Eagerist for helping me out. And as well, on the left is a playlist of all of my AOT videos, and on the right is a playlist of all of my Vinland Saga videos. Click on them, watch them. I love you. Bye.